Hi, I'm Colleen Delaney. Let's look at my retail therapy. So usually on this channel, I talk about books and writing, and while I will be talking about books today, I'll also be talking about some other random stuff that I bought just to show you. So a little background, my husband went out of town for 5 days to Mexico in a beautiful resort on the beach. His room looked at the beach. He went to the spa one day. He had every single meal he ate, he didn't have to prepare. And it was for his childhood best friend's wedding, and our entire family was invited to go on this trip, especially me. But we did not want to take all of our kids to Mexico. First of all, I'm a really bad traveler. It doesn't matter if I'm flying, driving, or taking a train. I'm just not a good traveler, and taking our kids someplace super stresses me out. Also, trying to find a babysitter for 4 children during the week is almost impossible and very expensive. So we decided that I would stay home with the kids and he would go. But after those 5 days, I was really needing an emotional pick-me-up. So he got home the Sunday before President's Day, and that Monday I said, have a good day together, everybody, and I went crazy. Now, I am a very frugal tourist who likes to buy things, but I usually am very, very uncomfortable spending large amounts of money. I did not feel that way. And I didn't spend that much money because honestly, I still didn't buy that much. You'll see. This isn't going to be one of those hauls where you're like, oh, this person spent so much money. I did not. So I'm going to start with the books because I know a lot of you are only here for books, and then you can stop watching the video when I get to the rest of the stuff, or you can hang out and see what else I bought. I went to Half Price Books. So I've been feeling very much like I don't want to overconsume when it comes to books, especially if I'm not going to be able to read all of them. I looked over before this at my TBR shelf, and I have about 12, I think it was, books on my TBR that I haven't read, and I don't have most of them I don't have immediate plans to read. So I was thinking to myself, I really wanted to buy books, but I didn't want to buy brand new books. I really like buying used books because they've already belonged to someone. This was the best romance books shelves I've ever seen, which does cause me to believe that there was someone who came in and sold a ton of romance books, because there were a lot of authors up there that usually aren't there. They had a ton of Lisa Kleypas. I've already read all of her historical stuff, so I didn't buy any of them, but usually there's not a lot of hers, and you'll see some of the ones I did buy that were fantastic. We're going to start with Someone to Love by Mary, I don't know how to say her last name, Below, I don't know, but she is a famous romance author, and I believe I've read one of her books, but when my first child was born in 2013, I did not use Goodreads or a journal. Before he was born, I used to write down in a journal every book I read, and I did not do either of those things for a while after he was born, years, maybe 6 years until I had all my children. But I used to go to the library and just get a ton of historical romance novels, and I'm almost positive I've read one of hers, but I just don't know which one. I read the premise of this one. It wasn't this one. This is called Someone to Love, and it's the first book in the Westcott series. Half Price Books had the entire Westcott series, and while I was tempted to buy them all, I thought I should probably read it first before I commit to that many books. It's got a fun family tree at the beginning, which I really like, books that give me a little bit extra. This one is about Anna Snow, who grew up in an orphanage, and then she discovers that a late Earl was her father and she inherited his fortune, and then she also finds out she has siblings. None of her siblings want anything to do with the newfound wealth, though. But the Earl has a guardian. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The new Earl's guardian is interested in Anna. So that makes me think that she has a half sibling who's too young to inherit the title, or maybe a cousin who's too young to inherit the title, and they're gonna fall in love. And that just sounded like a lot of fun and something I would really, really enjoy. Next, I did buy 2 books in a series because they're by Joanna Shupe, and I love Joanna Shupe. And this is a 3-book series. The third one wasn't there, but I got these 2. So the first one is called A Daring Arrangement, and it's the 400 series, which I haven't heard of, so I assume it's one of her older series, but it's Gilded Age, and in this one, What's her heroine's name? I never know how to say this name. Honora, or it's like honor with an A at the end. Honora? It's not Honora. I don't know. She needs to get engaged as soon as possible because her father wants her to marry, but she also needs to get engaged to a man who is so horrible her father won't let her get married so she can remain single. So she finds this guy named Julius who decides to play along, but then maybe they end up falling in love with each other. I hope they do. The next one is called A Scandalous Deal. Lady Eva Hyde has 3 dead fiancés, so people think she's very unlucky. And then she's going to fall in love with someone, and some bad stuff's going to start happening around him, and she's going to start to think that maybe there's someone who's been murdering her fiancés, which is kind of terrifying. So this sounds like there might be like a little bit of a thriller aspect in this. Nevertheless, very excited. The last romance I found is called Witchling. It's by Yasmin Galenorn. I don't know anything about this, but let me tell you something. This aesthetic was like my dream aesthetic in 2004, and so I picked it up. The second book in this series was also on the shelf, but again, I didn't buy it because I wanted to give this one a try first. This is about half human, half fae witches, and it sounds a little bit like Paranormal Detective Agency-ish. Here's the thing. This book was written in 2006, so I heartily expect it to be very 2006. I expect floor-length trench coats. I expect a very toxic male hero, and that's probably what's going to happen. So we'll see if I like it or not. I'm really into witch romance, and I feel like if you don't want a rom-com witch romance, it's kind of difficult to find, which is why I wrote a series. And you can get the novelette in the world for free if you sign up for my newsletter, and I'll put the link in the description for that. So next, I always check and see what they have by Alice Hoffman. And that's because there's an Alice Hoffman book I'm looking for, and I think it's called The Foretelling, but I can't remember. I'll put the cover right here. But it's like a weird book that I don't even know if it ever had a print run, if it was only an ebook, but I always keep an eye out for it. So when I was there, what's today? Tuesday? When I was there yesterday, what day is it? I found The Ice Queen by Alice Hoffman. I was like, oh, I've never heard of that one. There are some Alice Hoffman books I'm not interested in reading, like World War II ones. I just don't really like reading about World War II. But I picked this one up, and basically the back is a woman who leads a quiet life, keeping other people at a cool distance, one day utters an idle wish to be struck by lightning. And her wish is granted, but instead of killing her, this cataclysmic event marks a strange and powerful new beginning, as she soon finds herself drawn into a passionate relationship with another survivor of a lightning strike, and then it goes on. So I was reading that, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, I've never heard of it. But I had never heard of Blackbird House by Alice Hoffman, and I found it at Half Price Books, and it was one of the best books I read last year. So I thought to myself, I'm going to read the first page. I'm going to make you listen to the beginning. Chapter 1 is called Snow. Be careful what you wish for. I know that for a fact. Wishes are brutal, unforgiving things. They burn your tongue the moment they're spoken, and you can never take them back. They bruise and bake and come back to haunt you. I've made far too many wishes in my lifetime. The first when I was 8 years old. That's just a phenomenal beginning to a book. I know I'm going to love this. I might actually even read this in March. And it's a very quick read. It's like 211 pages. So I look forward to it. I just think Alice Hoffman's prose is fantastic, and so why wouldn't I want to dive into one of her stories? Okay, so we're going to switch gears. I still have more books to show you, but for Christmas this year, my sister-in-law gave me this book, Bibliostyle, and it says How We Live at Home with Books by Nina, very long German last name, Freudenberger, I believe, probably. And this has actually really changed the way I look at books in my house. So I obviously love having a large book collection, but I don't necessarily, look at how cool this picture is. I don't necessarily feel like I need to have a lot of novels. And I'll tell you why. I love novels, but I'm not a big rereader. There are some books I read more than once, but not many. I do love coffee table books so much. Recently, I did unhaul a bunch because when I worked at a bookstore, I used to buy so many of like the remainder ones that were cheap. And I still have quite a few large, oversized books, but I really like having coffee table books out to look through because there's no pressure with a coffee table book. You can pick it up and look at it for 5 minutes. You can pick it up and look at it for 2 hours. You don't have to read the text if you don't want to. So what I did is I have been doing this. This was actually my second time going to Half Price Books to do this. I put a book that I got a couple weeks ago there in the pile to show you. But my plan is that I am just getting books to populate this room with on all the tables. There's a large coffee table in front of me that my tripod's on right now. We have 2 end tables right here. I have a piece that is still in progress because we're actually kind of redoing this room right now. So this is all to say, I bought some really big coffee table books. The first one being the Illustrated Atlas of the Universe. My husband is super into space and he loves anything to do with the universe. And so I got this book because I thought, first of all, our kids will love flipping through it. Second of all, my husband would love flipping through it. And I like space, don't love it. So I think I would still enjoy it. But it's a lot about all different planets, galaxies, stars, all that. A fun thing to put out. Next, my husband and I are both really into maps. Like there's a lot of maps hanging up in our house. And so I saw this and had to buy it. It is To the Ends of the Earth, 100 Maps That Changed the World. And this just looks really cool about how different maps made different explorers get out there. This is one, it's got like these awesome old maps that are just almost like art. They feel a little artistic. So I can't wait to flip through this one. So we've got the universe and maps so far. Next, I grabbed Japanese wood blocks, which is part of a series called Masterpieces of Art, which I Googled last night. I think there's like 30 books in the series. But it's about a particular time period in Japan. Let me see. Early 18th century is when it began to the 20th century. And this type of art, which I just think is really beautiful. Another reason I grabbed this book is I think it'll be very easy for my kids to flip through it because it's kind of a small coffee table book for their little hands, so they can look through it easily and enjoy the beautiful artwork in here. And then lastly, the last time I was at Half Price Books, I did grab Monet Impressions of Light by Henri Lallemand. I took French a long time ago. And I love Monet. I really love the Impressionists. I took French for a very long time, and so my French teachers really instilled a love of the Impressionists in me. And I mean, it's not unfounded. Their paintings are very beautiful. But Monet is my favorite. And when I was at Half Price Books yesterday, I did look and see if they had any Degas, because he's probably my second. And the only thing they had was a book that was just called Degas Nudes. And, I have a 9-year-old, so we're not going to get that one yet. Maybe in a couple years. So now we're going to move out of books and into other stuff. So if you're just here for books, you can peace out or you can hang out. And we're going to start with what I got from Bath & Body Works. So first I got the Aromatherapy Lavender and Vanilla Sleep Lotion, which I've gotten this several times before and I really enjoy it. It is very relaxing. It smells really good. And yeah, I hadn't had it in a while and it was a treat yourself day. Next, I got 2 soaps. I've been trying not to buy plastic containers of soap, only for special occasions. But the thing with my kids is that a big reason they wash their hands is if there's a fun new soap. So I've decided that I'm really not going to worry about new soap in the kitchen or in my bathroom, but in the kids' bathroom and our powder room where my children wash their hands, that's where we're gonna have the fun soaps. So I got the Strawberry Pound Cake soap, which smells really good. We've had this one before, but never in this bottle. And I got the Hip Hip Hooray Cottontail Cake Pop soap, which has a bunny on it. One of my twins is absolutely obsessed with bunnies, so I knew I had to get a bunny soap for April. This is what I think is hilarious. The fragrance notes in this are delicious cake batter, rainbow sprinkles, and fluffy buttercream, which sounds delicious, but not necessarily something I would wash my hands with, but my kids love it. Next, I couldn't go in and not get a candle, so I got the Sea Salt and Neroli White Barn candle. I've been trying to be very mindful about the look of the candles I purchase. I have a entire drawer of candles and really love candles, but I'm trying to get candles that look neutral so that I don't feel particularly tied to like a season to have them out. This one smells very good. And it was on sale, which was the best. A lot of stuff was on sale, which was so nice. Lastly, because of the world we live in and that I have 4 children, I did get a lot of hand sanitizer, which isn't super exciting. But I got the Mango Papaya Paradise and turquoise waters, pink pineapple sunrise, and then lastly, passion fruit and banana flower. When my kids when my preschoolers come home from school, they are starving because they don't get out till 3:30. So that's like, for a 5-year-old, that is snack time. So they do have to eat in the car ride home. So I just slather them up with hand sanitizer. So we do go through quite a bit of hand sanitizer in this house. Next, I did go to Target, mostly because I had to go grocery shopping. But while I was there, I got myself a new candle. And I already took the top off of this one. It smells so good. And it's the White Sage and Thyme Threshold. But again, I really liked how neutral this looks, so that I can kind of put it next to anything and it's not going to clash. We are going to paint these walls dark blue, hopefully next weekend, because we were supposed to do it like 3 weeks ago and just haven't gotten to it yet. And so I'm trying to find a little bit more of like neutral accessories. And both the candles I picked have that like neutral grayish look. I got myself a new lipstick. I'm wearing it right now. It's mostly worn off, but it is a nude color. And it was L'Oreal's Ferris Nude. This is what the container looks like. I'm not a big makeup girl, so I don't know anything about it, but I wanted a new lipstick that wasn't super dark or super like rosy. And I went with this and I like it. It's good. And then lastly, I got myself a bunch of masks from Target. So I got a Stress Rehab coconut and caffeine mask. I've never done a caffeine mask before. I'm super sensitive to caffeine, so I'm going to do this very early one morning because I don't know how that works. Can it like still affect your sleepiness factor if it's on your face? We'll see. I got the eye masks. I really like those. I have a lot of under eye concealer on, but I don't sleep well. And I'm almost 40, so I need all the help I can get. I got the relaxing lavender mud mask, and I got the cooling avocado clay mask. I wanted to get stuff that was going to pamper me because I'm not going to go to the spa anytime soon. So I'm bringing the spa home. Lastly, I did buy myself like a bunch of clothes and shoes, but I feel really uncomfortable like modeling. So I got this shirt, which I really liked, from Loft, and Loft had a 40% off sale on everything in the store, which was amazing. So I got myself some cute shirts and a pair of pants, and I got myself a new pair of white sneakers because I have like no spring shoes. I don't know if that's an issue for anyone. But adjacent to all of this, I have been going on this like personal style journey, and I think that a lot of people are doing that in the world right now. We've been living in the pandemic where we were wearing sweats all day, and for me, pre-pandemic, I had 2-year-old twins and a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. So I didn't go anywhere or do anything nice. So I'm trying to actually build a wardrobe for the first time since my 20s, because obviously my body changed a lot after having 4 children and aging quite a bit. And I'm having a really good time doing it. If you are in that frame of mind, I'm going to recommend 2 YouTubers who are phenomenal and they have big followings, so people know about them, but in case you don't, there's Ellie Jean Royden, and she is kind of young, but I still really like her ideas. She came up with this new personal style classification system in which she has style roots, and you pick your style roots, and that's like how you pick the clothes you wear. So I am a mushroom and earth style root, and you're supposed to have 3, but for me, 3rd place is very difficult because my style has changed quite a bit since I was 25, obviously, and I'm still kind of figuring out what that means. When I was 25, I would have said I had a style root of moon, which is kind of goth, but that's not me anymore. So I do still like dark colors. I'm not wearing any right now. But check it out because it's really fun to classify yourself. I love classifying myself in any way, shape, or form. The other YouTuber I recommend is Gabrielle. I think you say her last name, Aruda. She was on Project Runway, but like after I stopped watching Project Runway, I probably only watched the first like 5-ish seasons. And she is closer to my age. I think she's in her mid to late 30s. She's a mom. And I really like how she talks about making your clothes work for your life. So like you can love frilly pink dresses more than anything in the world. And you can want that to be what you look like every day. But you can also have a 10-month-old who throws yogurt on you every day. So it's not really a good idea for your closet to look like that. And then she has really cool ideas on like how to make your lifestyle fit that aesthetic. It's awesome. I've also had a super fun time doing my Kibbe body type, which I believe is a soft natural, but I'm not 100% certain. And I never show you guys my entire body, so you don't know. And my Kitchener Essence, which I believe is natural, dominant, then classic, then gamine. But if you think I'm wrong, please tell me in the comments. So all of these things that I've been doing, all of these videos I've watched, all of these body type analysis and essence analysis and style routes made shopping for clothes yesterday so fun. I have never had such a good time shopping for clothes, but I knew what are they called? Not outlines. Outlines? Lines? No, just lines. I knew what lines to look for, which was really nice. Oh, those pants are not for a soft natural. Don't try them on. It made it so much easier and so much fun. Oh, I had such a fun day yesterday. Do you like to use retail therapy as a way to de-stress? I do it very infrequently and usually only books and candles and maybe clothes once a year. But I had such a nice time yesterday that I think I might start doing this more frequently. And by more frequently, I mean once a season. Because I'm just not a big shopper, unless it's books. If you've stuck around this far, thank you. And please drop me an emoji in the comments with the way you treat yourself. Is it books? Is it candles? Is it a spa day? Whatever it is, I hope you're all treating yourself, relaxing, and enjoying the end of February. As always, I hope you're in the middle of a good book, about to start reading a good book, or about to start writing a great book. I'll see you soon.